Come on in, come on in. Welcome, welcome. Hi, my name is Lucretia. This is my first video that I will be putting out on YouTube. So thank you for joining in. Tune in, take you a seat, relax. As today I will be doing the viral mama sweatshirt, but I'm putting my own little twist on it. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this video. Thanks for tuning in. First and foremost, I'm going to get over here to my computer. The software that I like to use for my embroidery is Embroidery at the moment. So I'm going to open that up. For this particular design, I am using my multi-positional hoop, which is a 5x12. So this is the hoop frame right here. I always like to start off with a background so I can give myself a feel of what the colors are going to look like. So with that being said, I'm going to take this square, make a square, I'm going to fill it in, and it's already the color I need, but if I did need to change the color, you just come over here and put in what color you need. So I could change it to this, that if I wanted to. But the color that I needed was already on here. So let me refine it. And I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Make it a little bigger. But this is the actual color of my sweatshirt. Okay, so with that, I'm going to open my file that I'm going to be using, and I want to use this one. So let me make my background a little bit bigger so it can feel it more. And I want you to be in the center, but I am going to move it up some. Also in my process that I am doing the acuplay process, which is basically where you're attacking a fabric or some sort of texture, whether it's foam, fabric, vinyl down, and then you're stitching on top of it this part of the lines, this red part. So I will be using a baby outfit. So this is what the sweatshirt looks like. This is the outfit. So as you can see, this burnt orange color is close enough. I'm gonna do what it gonna do. I'm gonna make it do what it's gonna do. So since in the outfit in itself has pink in it, I want to make this outline to be a pink color. It doesn't have to be exact pink. I will pick out the right pink once I pick out my thread, but this is just letting you see how it will look up against that color. So that is that part. Let me zoom out a little bit. So as of right now, this is what it will be looking like. Let me go up some so I can see the frame a little better. So I'm going to go with the pink thread. And like I said, I will choose the correct color pink once I get ready to embroider it. And also, since I want the established part, I'm going to go up to here. I'm going to use a different shape, which is a circle. And I want it to be somewhere in the middle. So therefore, I'm going to put it probably about right there. And I am also going to fill this circle in and probably pick another color that's in here. Maybe this light green or light purple. I think I want to go with the light green, so I will highlight that, change the color to a green. And like I said earlier, I will pick out the right color thread, but this is just giving me an idea of how it is going to look. And that's definitely not the right green. Like I said, I will pick the right color green. And the establishment part. So EST 2008. And I am, and there you go. Downsize it some. And I probably will make this even bigger. So I can make these a little bit bigger. I don't know why it's not wanting to. I guess that's good enough right there. And I also want to change this color, and I guess I go back to the pink so that it will look something like that. And like I said, inside of this part where you see this orange, I will have this fabric in there. Okay, now that we have this and it's looking right, I'm liking what I'm seeing, you got to go and save it. Since this is a multi-positional hoop, when I save it, it's going to cut it in half. So I'm going to have half, two different, I probably have two, sometimes you can have 3 different save files. But I think this one will probably be into 2. But before I save it, since I don't technically need this orange part, I need to delete it before, because if not, it will have it part of my design and will want to stitch it out. So once I delete that, this is technically how my design looks. So this empty space, once again, is where my fabric will be. Also, another good feature in the Brilliance is that you can see how it's going to stitch out. You can just go here. You can push play. So it's going to start off with that part first towards the bottom. Laying down the blue is the first initial stitch to give you the location of where you need to lay your fabric. Next, it came through with the green. Once you lay your fabric, it will come through with the green, and that is tacking down your fabric. It will come around with the pink. Once the pink starts, it's going to do its thing. Once the pink is done, you have your mama sweatshirt. So I do like to look at this sometimes because it will show you any areas that a stitch might be missing, or you want to change the type of stitching. Like if I didn't want this kind of stitching, I could technically go here and change it to something else. Let me see. I could take this. If I didn't like how it stitched out, I could have turned it into that instead of putting a border back there. But I would prefer to leave it as that. And I also went back and made it bigger. So let me go back and save. It's going to still be a split design. I'm going to be saving it to my desktop. My downloads, I mean. Let me go back to make sure that it is there. I am going to drag them in and let's see. So this is one part and this is another part. So it did split them, and y'all come catch me at the embroidery machine. So the supplies that you will need to do this, to achieve this look, would be, I'm using a mini Cricut press, but if you have a big heat press or iron, that works too. Some heat bond, which is what I'm going to put on the back of my fabric that I'm using. You will need some fabric scissors so that you can cut your fabric. You will need your actual garment that you're using for your aquaplay, which is, for me, this baby shirt. You also need the actual sweatshirt or shirt, whatever you are doing at that moment. You need that as well. So this is this. A heating pad so you can protect your area from when you putting the heating bond on. So you need that as well. These right here are applique scissors, or some people call them duck scissors because they got this beak on the front part, but it helps to keep from, when you cutting the fabric around, it helps keep from cutting your actual shirt. These are also embroidery scissors. It just helps reach in smaller little spots. You will need these as well. Stabilizer. I have pre-cut stabilizer. I also have stabilizer on the roll. It's rolled. You have cutaway, you have tearaway. I believe this is tearaway, but the kind I have on the roll is, I believe this is cutaway, but the kind I have on the roll is tearaway. I like to use clips. Sometimes they help to keep my shirt or whatever loose pieces of shirt that I don't need to be getting stitched out of the way. So I do have a few of those. You don't really need them, but they do come in handy. Your threads. These are the threads that I chose that was the best or closest to the shirt. I using the pink to bring out the pink and the little flowers. And also the green is the closest green I had to bring out the green of the leaves. These two colors will be my tack down color, my placement stitch color, and my tack down color. Technically, you do not have to use this. It'll save thread and time by not having to switch out. But for the purposes of this video, I will be using these so you can see what I mean about placement and tack down stitch. Also, most importantly, you need your hoop. This is the 5x12 hoop. As you can see, it has the little notches on the side. Top is these two. If you had a 3-piece design, you would have had a middle part. You would have put it in these two. And since I have a bottom, I will be using these two. So the top two and the top bottom. I would never have to use today these top middle two. So those are the supplies you would need. Okay, so what I'm going to start off with is I'm going to go ahead and cut me some heating bond. This should be enough, probably more than enough. But I am going to go ahead and cut that. So I can set that to the side. I'm going to take my fabric. I am going to unbutton it so I can get the back side really good. Flip it over, and I am going to cut this whole section. So just take your fabric scissors and just start cutting. I cut all the way up until the collar on this one. You might not have to, but that's just to make sure I have enough in this one go around. And like I said, you're probably not even gonna use it all, but the shirt cut up now. You can just throw that to the side. So now I got my piece of fabric. You also need, I guess it really doesn't matter which way you lay it on here, but I'm going to flip it over, get my heat mat Lay that down, like I said, to protect your surface. Lay this on top. And I am going to basically just iron this onto the back of my fabric. Take my little mini press and I'm just going to press it on there. It don't even take that much heat to get it to stick. But make sure you got only on the white part. If you got any white part missing, you might accidentally run over the actual adhesives and it gets stuck to your heat. Your mini press. I'm gonna move it over some so I can get this extra piece on this side. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And I don't want to get too far that it gets onto my heating pad either. Just like so. You want it to be very good on there. Now, if I want to, I could go in and cut it up even more. But I think I'm just gonna lay it completely on there like that. So I might change my mind, but that's how I got it right now. So what you're gonna do once you got a heat pressed on, you're gonna pull this white backing off. And I don't know if you can kind of tell, but it kind of got like a shiny. That means the stuff got stuck to it. The adhesive stuck to it. And I'm just gonna tear this little extra part out. Okay. And stick this to the side. Now I'll come back to this in a little bit. As of right here, I do have a little uh-oh spot where it's wrinkled at. So when I lay it down, I will try to make sure I do not lay this part in any of the areas where the numbers go. And turn my heat press off for the moment. Push this on to the side as well. Now here comes trying to put the shirt on the hoop, which is probably the most difficult part. One more thing that you might probably need is, let me see if I can find it. It's a washable fabric pen. It helps put location marks on your fabric, and it comes off with just some water. I'm gonna push this back some, move these out the way. It's different ways to hoop. I'm not sure which way I want to hoop. Today you have free hoop or free stance or float. I forgot what people call it. Floating is where you just sit it on top. And then you also have where you actually put the fabric or your substrate, your shirt within the middle of both. Okay, since my design is rotated to the left, basically it will be in like this. I need to make sure my shirt is facing the right way. So what I normally sometimes do is fold my shirt in half, just lay my shirt down as good as possible. Get all this stuff out the way. One more thing I need. Okay. will help a little bit. It's this little guide thing. It came with the hoop. It helps sometimes. Sometimes it helps. But so normally you would want your design to be about, I'd say about 3 finger lengths from the top. Stick that like that, and this would technically be in here like this, so it technically would be like this. And like I said, it works sometimes. I don't use it that much. Hopefully I'm using the right one. So now you want to try to line this middle with the middle of your shirt as close as possible. And then I'm gonna do the little finger 3. I say that's probably about good. I'm satisfied with this right here. And then I'm going to take my marker and I am going to place dots inside these holes. Like I said, it helps sometimes. Sometimes it don't. Okay, so now when I remove this, I don't know if you can see the dots or not, but they're there. So now what I want to do is take these apart, open it up some so you don't be struggling. Sometimes I even trace them around the whole thing. Take your stabilizer. And since this is a big piece, this one piece is not going to work. So I'm going to use 2 where I am overlapping some. And matter of fact, I'm going to do it this way. Make it a little easier too. I am going to, with this process, you will need some basting adhesive. You're going to flip your shirt inside out. So now my shirt is basically inside out. Anytime that you're using this basting, this bond spray, you kind of want to make sure you do it over trash or something that you don't mind getting sticky. So if you just spray it on there and lay it down. Same thing with this side. I'm gonna spray it on here. Don't take much. And then I'm gonna overlap some and lay it down. So that way it's stuck to my garment already. Now I ain't gotta worry about it moving, shifting while I'm trying to get this hoop together. So now just flip your shirt back right side. It still should be stuck to the shirt like so. And then you're going to take it, the bottom part, stick it into your shirt like so. Okay, sorry. Then you want to take the top and you want to try to feel around. I normally try to put this back in here like this so it can kind of help me find my holes. So right now I look as if it is lined up, or it looks lined up rather, but like I said, it's hard. Trying to line stuff up. So hold on. Try this again. So I went back and did some more dots. And I forgot to start back recording. But I redid the dots. Lay this back on here. I am going off these bottom dots now. So hopefully I can get it better. And oh yeah, got it. It's in there. It's in there. So then I'm gonna lift this up, and it's a little tightening thing on this side, and then I'm just gonna tighten until it's not going nowhere. And normally take this back off, lift it up, and if it looks straight, then it's good. And for me, it is straight. Lay it back down, and it's time to get started. If you want to, you can go ahead and spray it off, but most of it's going to be covered. So what I'm going to do now is turn my machine on. I am using the Brother PE 800. I already have me a bobbin in, but this is what the bobbin looks like. It's a full one, so I'm just gonna put it back in here. You don't have to worry about the bobbin being the same color as your fabric, because it's on the inside, the under part, so you don't see it. For this process, you do need an embroidery machine. I forgot to mention that in my supplies. Also, I need me a new needle, because the last time I used this, or I was moving this, trying to do something, I accidentally broke the needle on here. So you will get to see me go through that process as well. I'm gonna move this out of the way for a second. And I'm gonna pull this a little closer. But I'm just going to change out this broken needle real quick. As you can see, it broke. I do not use the thread holder that's part of the machine. I use this one. Set it off to the side. Here's my needles. I know y'all didn't ask for this part, but it might be somebody out there that don't know how to change the needles. But yeah. Fold these bad boys up. You always want to make sure you have some needles and bobbins, threads handy. I get the pre-wound ones. I order mine off of Amazon. It's better than winding up your own needles. Get this thread out the way from the last project. And you're just gonna flat back facing the backwards. And you just slowly, carefully push it up as far as you can. Sometimes I take my scissors and I put up under it to help me push it up into place. And then I take this little tool and tighten it back up. You want to make sure it's all the way up in there. If not, it's not going to stitch correctly. And this is a automatic threader, so if it's not up in the correct position, it will not thread properly. So you're going to take your thumb drive that you saved it to, insert it into your machine. Wait for it to realize that it's on there. I don't know if you can even see or not. I might need to change the angle. Insert my thumb drive. Let it do what it's gonna do. Okay, so the top. Okay, so now I want to take my shirt, pull the back up and over to expose this back side, and then I am going to slide it under, and be careful not to get stuck your fabric gets stuck by that needle. And you're just going to slide, 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 and hook it up to the top too. And then you're going to want to get all this extra shirt out of your way, like so. And I should have probably pulled it a little. And you want to make sure ain't no fabric up under. So this is where the little clips come in handy. I like to use these to try to make sure, one, it doesn't get in the way of the needle or my canvas area. So I like to try to pin out the way. Same thing with this. You don't really want it to block the thing from being great. So I'm going to put one more right there. Make sure ain't nothing up under at the back. And right now what I'm going to do is make sure that I'm not going to touch the sides. I am going to end, and I want to frame it. So framing it just shows you where this part is about to be at. So I might need to move this clip because it's hitting. It should be all right. I probably should have tightened the shirt a little bit, but it'll be all right. Okay. So, I don't know how much closer I can get you, but we finna start. I don't need the black box, so I am going to skip that one. Not sure why the black box on there. But I don't need it. So it's starting off with the green. So I'm going to take my green thread, and I am going to put it on my threader like so. Go through. It goes. It has some directions on here to follow, and it automatically threaded it and it worked. So therefore I know that I put my needle in correctly. And I normally always pull it through the little bottom part. Press the foot down, and the machine just does it for you. Now, as you can see, my bottoming done messed up. So therefore, I need to lift it up, cut it. Take it back off so I can look at my bobbin. I might not have put it back on correctly. Sometimes that tends to happen. And yeah, something didn't go right. Let's see. Let's see. It has some extra clear piece on here. So I am going to just cut that off. Sometimes the manufacturer, it has a little extra plastic and it catches inside the machine and it won't turn correctly. So, got that off good as possible. And we finna try it again. Just slide the fabric back, hook it back up in place with the top two. Make sure nothing is in the way. Like I said, I'm gonna push this back good again, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this piece of fabric thread on out the way, and this one, and I'm just gonna start it over. Right now it's stitching down the foundation for the green circle. And now it's gonna fill it. While this is going on, I'm gonna go ahead and start heating up my little mini press again, so it'll be ready for me. Now I decided to start filling from the top, and it's gonna meet down in the middle. Most of the time, I do a practice stitch out first on a regular plain piece of fabric instead of the actual material that I'm using, just to make sure that it does stitch out right. You'll be surprised at how many embroidery files that you might get that does not stitch out correctly. Myself, I'm still working on how to digitize. I can do simple things, but the more detailed, the harder it is for me to do. But I do have a company that I work with that helps with my digitizing if you need something that's not already digitized. As you can see, we're getting closer and closer to the end of this green part. I'm ready to get to the mama. Once again, y'all, like this video, hit that subscribe button, comment, let me know what you like, what you didn't like, what I can do better. Like I said, this is my first video. I appreciate y'all tuning in and watching. I hope you learned something from this video. And it's done with that part. I wish I would have probably went ahead and made that green circle even bigger, but I'm gonna see how it look once y'all finish. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that little piece of thread out the way. I'm also gonna back y'all up some so you can, I'm gonna cut the thread there since I do have a thread color change. Right now I am finna put purple in because this is my placement stitch color. I'm taking this purple and now I'm going to thread it through. Now I'm going to put it through here and hopefully purple do me good. And I want to make sure everything is out the way. And I'm going to push start. So right now, it is doing a placement sketch. And I probably should have used purple. It's probably going to be hard to see. And now it's done, so I'm going to cut that off. Take this thread out. I'm gonna cut this excess thread with these applique scissors so that the thread will be out of my way. But I don't know if y'all can see this area where it tacked down or not. So now I can put my fabric. I'm gonna change my thread to my tack down color. And like I said, I'm only doing this for video purposes, but normally I don't switch out colors for placement and tack down. I normally just use the same color, but don't get me wrong, you can sometimes get your own self confused and be done forgot to put your fabric down and walked out the room and you done did a whole last step with no fabric down. So this color right here is gonna be my tack down color, which I probably need to use another color. No, it should be alright, since my fabric, my actual shirt this color, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go with this color. And then I am going to take my fabric, and like I said, since it is a piece on here that is messed up, I am going to cut around that. And you also want to make sure that you have enough fabric, enough double-sided tape for the fabric area you are about to be using. Therefore, let's try and see what we looking like. It's gonna make it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it to make it a little easier on me. This one goes there. And then this one goes like so. And sometimes I like to hold the fabric just to make sure it lays completely flat. Just be very careful when using your hand not to get stuck by the needle. That's why you see me start using the scissors. And now it's gonna jump over here to this one. Let me get this thread out the way. I don't want it messing up nothing. Okay, start it back up. As you can see, I end up moving the fabric too far over. So this little corner right here don't got no fabric, which it might be okay. Which is a little hiccup. I'm gonna show y'all And I'm just gonna take it loose and do it again. So I'm going to lift this up. Push this back some. I don't know if you can see right here. The fabric is missing. So I will need me a seam ripper. Okay, I'm gonna take one of these seam rippers, and then I'm just going to go and start taking that thread that I just laid down and break it so I can be able to pull this fabric up. Look, first video, making mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Just know that you're able to fix it. Sorry. And should be able to pull back and go from the back side, and it might end up being, but just be careful not to tear up your actual shirt. In this situation, my shirt is the same color of the thread that I decided to use, which now, since I'm having to do this, probably wasn't a good idea, but well, I'm almost done. Taking it on time, so, and the last little piece. So even though these little threads don't matter, I normally try to get them on out of the way, because that's just me. And we gonna re-put that over there. But that's the reason of the position stitch, so that you know that you got that fabric over the right area. And apparently when I start moving stuff, I didn't notice that it wasn't touching right there. So my fabric still look all right, but I still might use a new piece. So let's put this bad boy back. Make sure you put it back in the right two holes. It's a little hard to see. Okay, so now I have to y'all done see me mess up something again. So yeah, I keep on messing stuff up. Hopefully it'll be right there. Okay. But now that the fabric is tacked down, now I have to take it back off. And I would not do both of them on camera. I would do one part on camera so that you can see. Let me move you back some. My little working area. So now I'm going my little duck scissors. And I am going to okay, so now you're gonna take your scissors, you're gonna kind of fold your fabric back. You want this part to be closest to, and you're gonna try to get as close as possible to that thread that just got stitched down. And the purpose of this side is to make sure you're not cutting into your actual shirt. So this is a tedious process as well. So this process, if you plan to use or to ever do applique, it does take time, but once you get used to it, it goes a little bit faster. So normally you want to start turning your shirt. Hopefully you can still see, but just go around the whole thing, getting all this extra fabric off as close as possible without cutting your actual shirt. And the same thing that I just did here, I will do to the rest. My A. Hopefully you can still see. Just be careful when you're moving everything around, because you don't want to accidentally be done unhooped your shirt by accident. And that can happen. I apologize for the coughing and the sniffling. And I'm going to switch to these scissors because this is a little tight little corner. Just like I said, just try to make sure not to get as close to that thread, but don't cut the thread, or what you just tack down as far as your fabric is going to come right back loose. And any little extra excess pieces of thread that you see, you can go ahead and clip them off as well. Now I'm going to do this other side. Hopefully I can do it a little faster. That first one. I'm gonna go back to the small scissors. Since this little area here is pretty small. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because once I do that last stitch, it is going to be covering these rough edges, but you want to make sure you try to get as close as possible so you don't have no extra fabric sticking out. Because once that last stitch go down, it's going to be hard to try to cut fabric that's sticking out. So I normally try my best to get as close as possible. Now with this little area, be careful not to go too deep and that you get your shirt. And I think I did okay. Yep. Okay, so now that I got all the extraness taken away, I am going to take my heating pad. I'm going to place it up under. Try to get it a little flatter. Place it up under. I normally like to take a piece of paper or something. Place it on top and then heat it on. So now I am fusing. Not only did the stitch it to the shirt, but now I am fusing the whole piece to the shirt. So now it is heat pressed to the shirt. Okay, in this technique, which I forgot to mention, I was wanting to try and see how the 3D effect would work. I'm not sure if it even will work, but I'm gonna try it. And y'all gonna try it with me. This will be my first time trying it, so let's get this out of the way. To what we was about to do. Put my phone pieces back on here. And thread my machine up. Like I said, the key to a perfect project or a good, successful project is passion, patience, as you can see, and a little bit of creativity. I do apologize for the skipping process. I thought I was recording when I did the foam process on the other side, but I was not. So that's why you are seeing this side and that the other side looks done already. As you can see, the foam has been removed. I did not like the outcome of how it was looking once I removed the excess foam. So I did go through with my seam ripper and rip out that thread to get that foam off. And I went back and redid the last process step. I hope y'all enjoyed this video and maybe even possibly learned something from this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this video. Thanks for tuning in to SYG Visions. Strings from on here. And sometimes I like to go in with a, so let me get a lighter. All this is doing is getting me little pieces of thread that I was not able to cut. And as you can see, the dots are still there. So technically, I can take my spray bottle of water. Make sure it's water and not no alcohol or nothing else like that. And just spray. Wipe a little bit. Technically don't have to wipe, but I like to just go ahead and wipe it to help it soak down in there a little better. And you'll just have those wet spots until they dry. Also, this is what the back looks like. I'm going to cut this off. First, I'm going to untighten this hoop and take this hoop off, since I don't need it anymore. And this tear away, so I just tear it on off. A much more sturdy feel. Sometimes I go and cut these little strands off. Sometimes I do. The purpose of the white stabilizer is to help the design be more firm and not flimsy. Issue with In this section, all I'm doing is finishing up tearing up the stabilizer as well as some of the loose threads. Also, you will see me with a lint roller trying to get up all the little extra pieces of threads that's laying there. Told y'all sometimes I trace around the whole thing. We went from this to this. I love it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this video. Hope y'all enjoyed it.